Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to chat with you about how the narcissist disrespect actually serves as your closure, right? Because these individuals, they're not going to give you closure. They're not the type of people who want to give you closure. Matter of fact, they probably have a ton of secrets, and arguably the things that you found out were things that they had probably, you know, gotten sloppy on. Let's be honest. They were probably always cheating, lying, stealing, manipulating from the very beginning to catch you in their web, right? And in order to reel you in, they weren't going to show you that disrespect, right? That disrespect is not part of the love bombing process to get you ensnared in their web, right? Trapped and just sitting there like a fly does when it flies into a spider's web. You know, difference was you didn't even know you were in a spider's web. You didn't know that you were going to be in an entrapment type of situation. The reality is the disrespect was their way of saying, I'm done with you. For whatever reason, you no longer serve the purpose for me as my primary source of supply. This is why they usually try to replace you with somebody else, right? To place at the centrifuge of their power vacuum, right? That becomes their main source of narcissistic supply. And it's really an interesting dynamic when they think that they found something better. Because, you know, if you thought that they slighted you here and there, right? Because they'll always try to kind of antagonize you. It's when you're dealing with a narcissist, it's sort of like death by a thousand cuts, right? Because what happens is they want to, they want to deregulate you over time. They want to cut down your self-esteem over time, right? They want to cut down your self-image, your internal confidence. And frankly speaking, let's be honest, guys, your internal decision making power is something that they want and aim and intend on destabilizing. And they want to destabilize that because they don't want you feeling like you can be autonomous, right? And they want to put you in this codependent state. And they want that because then they can assert power, manipulation, and control over you, right? To the extent that they will go so far as to say, when you make a statement and you have a perception on something, they will immediately tell you why they think that that is not a good idea, or that it's stupid, or that it's irrelevant. Again, this is their way of neutralizing you and destabilizing you in such a way where you don't any longer have confidence in what it is that you're trying to do, decide on, determine, take a course of action, and be intentional about the steps that you want to undertake in order to move forward with whatever it is you're trying to do. And you're probably trying to be a very good partner in the process. That was probably why you were thinking out loud, sharing your thoughts and considerations, on a specific, thing that you're doing that maybe impacted your family at large or would impact your spouse or your narcissistic spouse or your narcissistic partner. So, trust and believe that that disrespect, it's systematic, right? It's very intentional. And what happens over time, and this is really the troubling thing, right? Because when you come out of this and you really have time to reflect on those, I'll say, contentious interactions, you realize that that was all by design. It was all by design. Excuse me, guys. That was all by design. They wanted to get you down from on high to a place where they can effectively manage you and, you know, your cognitive ability to really, kind of stand on your own footing, with them, with others, with different aspects of life. Okay. And it's sinister because they want to they want to get you to a place where you're lacking the confidence that you previously had, right? It's almost like, oh, you can't think for yourself. Oh, that's a terrible idea. Oh, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. Did they actually take the time to interact with you and share thoughts and perspectives and ideas? No. Did they do that often? No. If they did it happen when it probably suited them some? Probably. Probably. That's probably what happened, right? If they engaged you on something, it was probably because they had something that they wanted to get out of it. Money, things, right? Maintaining their control and perspective, power position, making sure that you relent to them. There's a lot of relenting that goes on in these situationships, right? Again, whether they're married, whether they're marriages and long term partnerships or whatnot, or even family dynamics, siblings, parents, what have you. There's a lot of this intentional attack on you, who you are, how you make decisions, how you live your life, effectively challenging most of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Again, that adds to that level of stress and anxiety that you get placed into, to the point where they really want you walking on eggshells. That's part of their arsenal of weaponry that they utilize against you to keep you destabilized, to keep you walking on eggshells, to keep you in a place where you're not comfortable. It's kind of like you're not really even comfortable being you. So what do you have to do? Well, in order to either not upset the narcissist or destabilize the kind of the living condition, especially if you have children and you're not trying to sit there and have arguments and display behaviors that you don't believe are healthy for those children, right? To be in that sort of an environment. And that's why I tell you guys, when you divorce the narcissist, even if you have to legally do, it's not always advantageous and you don't always want to be that way, but if you have to share custody, you want to be able to convey the real authentic parts of you to your children, as far as how you parent, how you engage with them, right? And how you convey what a healthy, right, what a healthy environment is and should look like. Okay. And that's really, really important because, their attacks, their fights, the disrespect, they're calling you names. Oh, they'll go there, right? They'll go there. Or giving you another one I've seen. This is more so from like malignant narcissists, is they like to give nicknames to people, because it's a way of demeaning them, right? It's the way of of, degrading them in front of others, almost in this sort of intentionally, non-threatening way. But really, what it does is it really does cut at your character and who you are, right? And puts people's perception of you in a different light, right? So, all of these different nuances to how the narcissist wants to maintain control, degrade your confidence, impact your perception of things, your decision making, right? These are all things that they do to destabilize and deregulate you, and get you in a place where, you are effectively, you're effectively disrespected to the extent that, you almost sort of relinquish, what you things that you would have normally handled, decisions you would have normally made, you know, you sometimes want to relent because in the name of keeping the peace. I mean, this is how toxic it gets, guys. And so that's why, you'll hear from hopefully, certainly for myself, and I'm sure others, that the disrespect that a narcissist conveys to you, in actuality, and in its totality, has no limit. I mean, it's they say sky high. It's beyond that, man. It's like it's out of the hemisphere. So it's out of the atmosphere. It's out in the space. And you, again, like I said earlier here in the video, you never really know the extent of all of the things that they did to you during the time that either you were with them or knew them, or or had some sort of relationship, before you decided, hey, I'm going to block them, I'm going to move on, I'm going to find my peace, I'm going to go off here and get on this healing journey and rebuild and pour into myself. That disrespect, I'm sure there are, things and secrets and things that they've kept, if you ever stumble upon it, would you be surprised? Probably not. But that's the level of disrespect that you get. And it's really important that you understand that you have a level of self-respect for yourself to understand what is and is not appropriate. And that self-respect, in turn, is helps you get that closure from their disrespect, right? To acknowledge the fact that you don't deserve to be treated that way. You should have never been treated negatively when you're a good, decent person trying to do the right thing by others. So take that disrespect as a way of slamming that door shut and moving on with your life, pouring into yourself, building up your boundaries, right? Or rebuilding your boundaries, getting that armor up, guys, because it gives you, and it'll reinstill a level of self-confidence in you that you need as you start to kind of rebuild yourself, and move on and realize that that was all sort of a toxic entrapment that you were subjected to, that you didn't sign up for, that you didn't deserve. And, the sooner you realize that, the better life can be. When you get on the other side of this thing, and you've got freedom from this toxic individual or these toxic individuals and all of their flying monkeys and all of just that gnarly stuff you had to deal with. It's got no room in your life moving forward. So I hope this found you well. And if this message hit the mark for you, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Love to see your comments. Plan to start scrolling in there and responding, and let's get this community going. Until next time, guys, stay focused on your healing. Armor up. Take care. Bye now.